a sidekick character from the Shrek sequel in his own sequel? And all of this turned out to be a success. Wait, what? You can say everything, but I'm adult and I adore every second of this animation. Those guys from DreamWorks created a spectacular that completely and skillfully makes reference to anime classics, experiments with animations, tries to avoid the cliché of heroic stories, and, of course, surprises with jokes that are written primarily for an adult audience.
Go dragging, honey scrounging, grub oafish munching, minky nothing.
I like the cut of his jib.
But this is only the tip of iceberg of this work's success. The main achievement of Puss in Boots is original and well-written characters. If you're planning to write your own scripts, and keep in mind, no strong character, no story. DreamWorks is doing well with bright, memorable characters, but what about you? Hey, I am Anton, director and screenwriter, and today on this channel I am going to tell you how well-written characters can help you to talk with the audience about the meaning of life, without tiring them to death. There are 5 characters I'd like to discuss today: Puss, Softpaw, Perrito, Jack Horner, and of course, this guy with a killer charisma. Let's start with the main character. Puss in Boots is a fearless lone adventurer who's ready for any audacity and risk to glorify his name. He is narcissistic, hopelessly narcissistic, and he's an anxious avoidant type of attachment. He is lonely. He cannot completely trust another cat, and most afraid of losing the approval of others and parting with his freedom. How did we know? Here's a shot, here's the dialogue, here's the joke, and here is that look. But this is not enough. You need a plot. The plot with help of which the hero will go through his character arc and change for the better by the end. To allow the character to go through his path of healing, 3 characters are introduced in the narrative. The personification of the fear of death in the face of Wolf, a character with the similar problems but with different view, Softpaw, and the ideological antagonist Perrito.
I just come up here for the food and the friends. Mostly the food.
It is Perrito, the main antagonist of the hero. You heard right, but more on that later. 8 carefree cats' lives are behind him. It's time to part with the last one, the 9th. A ruthless mercenary nips at his path, pursuing the main characters. His last life will inevitably come to an end. The fear of death dooms him to constant anxiety.
Puss in Boots.
The protagonist gives up everything that is dear to him and hides in a cat shelter. In the shelter, we and a Puss are represented with the ideological antagonist of the work. He is complete opposite. His system of life values and beliefs is far beyond than his. There is no chance that those two will ever get on well. And now let's see what the screenwriters are doing to answer the questions. How to find yourself, how to find the way to make a change for the better, and most importantly, reconcile two opposites. Firstly, the creators immediately note that not every person's background is challenged with tragedies that push them to rethink their lives. That's why we have Jack Horner. He didn't spend his childhood in the grip of poverty, he had a good family, he inherited the family business, and his actions are caused by his own rational desires. He is most mentally healthy, happy son of a bitch in the whole thing.
I'm your conscience. I really did overpack.
He knows exactly what he wants, and yes, in the context of the path of healing, he's a brazen, ruthless egoist who's not going to play by the rules. Come on, Jack Horner, jump straight into a abyss, we are sure you can handle it, it's not about you. It won't be an exaggeration if I say that Perrito is the main component of the work's success. Yeah, sure, with Wolf, but listen here. Aesthetic never outfades the meaning, and it's Perrito character which fills the whole journey with meaning.
I don't believe you. That's okay, as long as you believe in yourself. What?
The way to the wishing star is literally a battleground between the beliefs of Puss and his obsessive new friend. The protagonist denies Perrito's beliefs. They seem to him detached from reality, infantile and simply destructive. Perrito's cheerful ideology is the complete opposite of Puss' sick habits. Once he ran away from the wedding, now he's running from death. He doesn't know how to trust, he needs others. He fears most of all being betrayed, but he will never let himself admit it. Its principles don't withstand any serious test.
The legend will never die!
His courage borders on insanity, and yet he managed to get away with it until the wolf came. And at the same time, Perrito's way to the wishing star turns out to be the easiest and most comfortable one. There's all reasons for this. Yes, indeed, Perrito isn't a swordsman, not a slicker, he doesn't have a belt on a head, but Perrito is definitely not a weakling. He doesn't need to be protected, he does not ask for help. He's not afraid and doesn't regret anything. He's honest with others, but most importantly with himself. He lacks close relationships and trust. He knows that he will be unhappy if he cannot achieve this.
Speaking from one orphan to another, Goldie, you won the orphan lottery.
So he takes every step to fulfill his dream, and his perseverance ends in success. Just in case if you haven't noticed, his obsessive desire to see the best qualities in everyone and attentiveness to the other people's needs allow him to achieve good results. He is not as careless and thoughtless as it seems at first glance. When it comes to trust between people, he's ready to be imbued with someone else's mindset. He's ready to listen and support. This isn't require him to change his beliefs, just to be there for others when they need it most. The friendship that he gains at the end is a result of his efforts and beliefs, and not blind luck. The complex path of self-knowledge allegorically filled with love and traps would never have appeared before him. He isn't afraid of being weak, and therefore his weaknesses aren't dangerous for him. We have an ideal antagonist who tests the protagonist's convictions all the way, and in the end, despite all, the generally accepted cliché wins. Now we have the most underrated character in the story. It may seem that Softpaw is only the love interest of the protagonist, but she isn't. Softpaw is you and me. No one ever will snap their fingers and send us on an adventure to complete our hero arc. We are all Softpaws, secondary characters. Our inner feelings and sad fate most often remain behind things. We balance at the intersections of many beliefs. We are ready to achieve our goals. We strive to find someone we could trust, but alas, we are not yet ready to take those risks.
You wanna know what my wish was? Someone, anyone I could trust.
Softpaw becomes a link between the irreconcilable ideologies of the cat and the dog. She's like Puss, lonely and afraid to trust, but she dreams painfully to have a soulmate in her life. In the end, she's ready to reconsider her beliefs before it's too late, and convince Puss that there is nothing to worry about if one day you decide to trust someone. If you want a character that was meant to be a role model, then this is not Perrito at all, but just Softpaw. Be like her, walk softly. You don't need inexhaustible optimism to deserve your chance for an easy walk through the obstacle map. You just need to try to give others a chance to become closer to you. Time to identify the villain, kittens! The truth is the fear of death alone is not a decent motivator. Yes, fear of death is useless. No carpidium and memento mori. This enemy will show his teeth when you finally lose every bit of yourself. And when that beast opens his mouth, at least you want to do at that moment is to be happy. I think this is most important message of the whole feature. Listen, happiness, peace, comfort always lives only within our beliefs, which help us to effectively interact with objective reality. And yes, it's endless work. No one came up with a perfectly working technique. But this is not even the fear of death that prevents us from living. But, first of all, the lack of flexibility of thinking and trust in others. A person needs a person, and I believe this common truth in the individualism epic should sound louder. A person needs a person. We become better thanks to each other. We achieve more together, even if there's only enemies, dangers and obstacles around. This channel would be also benefit from a few allies, so I will be glad if you subscribe and push the bell button to not miss my next video.